While millions of Americans watch TV every night to see Brett Baier tell them the most important news from his desk at Fox News, most people don't know about the terrible things this news reporter has dealt with for almost 20 years. A baby son born with a heart the size of a walnut that was pumping blood the wrong way. 5 heart surgeries before he became a teenager. A car accident in Montana that left the whole family stuck upside down in a frozen ditch. Losing his father, who taught him everything. And maybe the worst part, private text messages that got leaked and ruined his reputation as one of TV's most fair news reporters. This is the story about a man who spent his job telling hard truths to America, but then had to face truths in his own life that no school could have taught him about. The year 2007 should have been nothing but winning for Brett Baier. Fox News had just made him the network's White House reporter, a really important job. His career was going straight up. But while Brett was reaching the highest points in his job, his personal life was about to fall apart in a hospital delivery room. Amy Baier had their first son that year, a baby they named Paul. The birth went smoothly with no problems or warning signs. But right after birth, one of the nurses saw something wrong. The baby looked pale, his skin color wasn't quite right. What happened next was every parent's worst nightmare. Medical tests showed a terrible diagnosis. Paul was born with 5 heart defects. His tiny heart, no bigger than a walnut, was pumping blood the wrong way through his body. Doctors told them news no parent wants to hear. Their newborn son would need open heart surgery in just a few days. There was a very real chance Paul might not survive to go home with his parents. Brett and Amy were Catholic, raised with strong faith, but nothing prepares you for watching your newborn baby get wheeled into an operating room. The couple prayed a lot during those scary first days. Brett would later talk about his thinking during this time, saying he believed that a loving God had a bigger plan for Paul and for their family. Paul had his first open heart surgery as a newborn. The surgery worked, but it was only the start of a medical journey that would shape the Baier family for years. Over the next years, Paul would have 4 more open heart surgeries. Between the major surgeries came 10 procedures to keep his damaged heart system working. Each surgery had life-threatening dangers. The Baiers created ways to survive the constant hospital stays. They made a family, saying they would repeat during the worst times. We're one day closer to getting Paul home. It became their anchor, a way to measure how they were doing. In 2014, 7 years into their journey with Paul's heart condition, Brett decided to share their story with everyone. He wrote a book called Special Heart. The book told every scary moment of Paul's medical journey. Brett wrote honestly about how Paul's condition was hard on his marriage to Amy, the fears that kept him up at night, and the faith that helped them through the worst moments. The book helped other families going through similar problems feel less alone, and it also gave all the money to research for heart birth defects. During this time, Brett got important emotional support from Bret Hume, the famous Fox News anchor Brett had replaced. Hume had his own family tragedy when his grown son killed himself. Hume understood grief and fear in ways most co-workers couldn't. As Paul grew, the Baiers worked hard to keep things normal. When their second son, Daniel, came in 2010, they made sure both boys felt equally loved and supported. The Baier family vacation to Montana in 2019 was supposed to be exactly what they needed. The ski trip went great. As the vacation was ending, the family got into their car for the drive to the airport. Nobody could have known what would happen next on that Montana road. The car hit an icy spot. Brett lost control. Before anyone could really understand what was happening, they crashed into a truck. The crash sent their SUV flying off the road. The car flipped, landing completely upside down in a ditch by the road. Someone driving by saw the crash and stopped right away to help. Emergency workers came and rushed everyone to the nearest hospital. The injury checks showed amazing luck. Brett got a concussion. One family member needed 14 stitches. Another had a loose tooth. A sprained ankle finished the list of injuries. Amazingly, no one got life-threatening injuries. Brett tweeted a message that seemed to sum up everything the Baier family had learned. Don't take anything for granted. Every day is a blessing and family is everything. Just months later in 2020, Brett's phone would ring with news that would bring a different kind of pain. Brett's father had been diagnosed with cancer. The disease got worse quickly. Within months, Brett heard that the end was near. He traveled to be with his father, and the whole family gathered for his passing. The loss hit Brett harder than he'd thought it would. As Brett mourned his father and kept managing Paul's ongoing health needs, he had no idea that his work life was about to explode in a scandal that would threaten everything he'd built. The time after the 2020 presidential election created chaos throughout American media and politics. Donald Trump refused to admit defeat to Joe Biden, claiming widespread election cheating. The accusations targeted one company especially, Dominion Voting Systems. Conservative media personalities claimed Dominion's machines had been programmed to switch votes from Trump to Biden. Fox News, Brett's employer, became one of the loudest spreaders of these claims. The company filed a huge lawsuit against Fox News, asking for $1.6 billion in damages. Text messages between Fox News personalities were demanded. What came out painted a troubling picture. The Daily Beast got text messages between Brett and Tucker Carlson. The messages showed Brett and Tucker talking about Fox News' decisions around calling election results. The text showed that Brett acknowledged the network's main audience wasn't happy with Biden's success. Even more damaging, Brett wrote that he was personally pushing network decision-makers to slow down their election calls. Fox News did become the last major network to officially call the election for Joe Biden. The leaked text suggested Brett had allowed political considerations to influence news judgment. In the end, Fox News settled the Dominion lawsuit for $787.5 million. Despite the work turmoil, the Baiers never lost sight of what really mattered. Paul's battle with his heart condition continued. Brett used his public platform to raise awareness and funds, helping to generate over $1 million for the hospital. In 2023, the couple donated $1 million to Children's National Hospital specifically to start the Baier Family Congenital Heart Disease Research Program. Meanwhile, Paul continued to defy expectations. He joined his high school's varsity golf team and played varsity tennis. Then came a 2024 and a discovery that reminded everyone how dangerous Paul's situation still was. Doctors found a life-threatening aneurysm near Paul's heart. The 16-year-old had shown absolutely no symptoms. Paul had his fifth open-heart surgery to repair the aneurysm. Just 5 days after the surgery, Paul was sent home. Today, Brett Baier continues anchoring Special Report each evening. But he's completely changed from the ambitious young journalist who joined the network back in 1998. Paul needs ongoing heart care for the rest of his life. But Paul has survived to 16 years old and built a life filled with sports, friends, and normal teenage experiences. Brett now speaks often about the importance of gratitude. The work setbacks pale in comparison to nearly losing his son repeatedly over the years. For a man who spent decades reporting on other people's tragedies, Brett Baier has discovered that his greatest story isn't one he delivers from the anchor desk. It's the one he lives every day when the cameras shut off.